and give us a status bar here. Michael has a good question. Do you have a diagram of the architecture of the solution? You know, what's actually really nice is if you go to our main website, sosonlinebackup.com, and go to SOS ServerSave, it actually gives you kind of a nice little diagram here. So you can back up from your individual workstations or laptops and go off-site. Your bare metal backup and recovery, transactional consistent, so then it goes to the staging server and then off-site. Same thing, staging off-site. So it's a little nice. I don't have a formal diagram for you to look through, but we will have tons of information available in our knowledge base section. So if you go to the support, if you go down in this area, there's a lot of details in it as well. Some screenshots and descriptions. If you go to support, and then our knowledge base section, we will have an entire section just for ServerSave, and then there's also things in here for the partner program, for Pulse, all those different things. So the ServerSave dashboard panel, so all these things. So just getting started with the WIP. So once you are fully delivered and your project's done, what are your next steps? And we use our knowledge base as a living, breathing document center. So then back to this. So great. So it looks like the backup ran. So then we go to Wizards, and we go to Restore. And this Restore option would be if we're going to overwrite an entire volume. Not a very common use case. Typically, what you're going to be doing is you go to Explore Backup, and we're going to recover the entire volume to a more specific location that we can pull information from and then get rid of it. So, for instance, here it's asking me, okay, if you pick backup job 8, there are no incrementals of it, so it doesn't give me any options other than that. And now it's going to ask you, okay, well, let's create a virtual drive and recover this image to this drive letter. Great, so that's nice. This is a much more common use case. Now let's recover to a virtual drive. Next, finish, and then it's going to run and open up the window for me. So there we go. So I have Exchange W that we just recovered. So now that we have an Exchange server recovered, what about the granular recovery of that? Well, let's open up Exchange granular recovery. And we'll get this window, and we're going to have to open up our source. So we have to navigate to the EDB file that we just recovered. So we go to my computer, Exchange W, Exchange, mailbox, EDB file. We open that up. It's going to automatically assume that it's going to the transaction logs are in the same directory. If they're not, you can change that. Hit OK. The temporary file path, the temporary data is really very small. It's not like the file and folder system that some of you are used to. So then we have the Exchange store that we've recovered. Save different users, the inbox, calendars, etc. We can go through and we can search through this entire backup set. So sent from, or just search for specific words, so like Nortel. This is more of a electronic discovery type of use. Open up this specific message, read it. You can see the attachment. You can save that. And then you can just save this report and say, yep, this is good. Let's save this report. And then you could say, okay, let's send that to a PST file. And you can send the PST file off to someone else. More commonly would be just to open up an existing Exchange server, and then you want to recover parts of your backup to your live server. So great, so here it is. So we could say, okay, well, what if we're migrating to a new location? Well, let's just migrate to here, last a demo. It says, okay, do you want mailboxes to be created for mailboxes that do not exist? Great, so that saves us a step for each mailbox we want to do rather than having to mount the EDB and then define the mailboxes and recover information into them, it's going to go ahead and do it for us. Terrific, great use of time. Let's cancel that though. If I have a specific user and I want to just recover this user, I can just come in and drag and drop this and say the same thing. If you want to copy over this user and just recover this too, for the mailbox. Great, done. Let's say I just want a specific mail to be recovered. So I drag this email and I pull it into their inbox. Recovered, done. And here we go. So it's really quite a simple and powerful and fast tool to be able to use. And with relatively little learning curve. I mean, anyone who's been familiar with managing Exchange servers before can see how simple this really makes everything. Good question from Lee. Do you have a rule of thumb regarding administration time per end customer? Rule of thumb, yeah. You know, a lot of our techs, you know, they come up with all these different formulas to try to figure out, you know, what's an average amount of time we spend supporting each end user and each server. I found that a lot of formulas are just overdone, and the most common would be if you take your hourly rate for on-site time, so I don't know, $100 an hour, $70 to $100 an hour, whatever it is, and you charge half an hour per workstation per month, or assume half an hour per workstation per month and an hour per server per month over the course of a year. And that generally will balance out to be what you will spend on that. So those of you familiar with some other questions, this looks familiar, like on track, and that's true. So this is, we've packaged some different technology into our software, and we've integrated it into our management systems and our other systems so that you have a complete solution. So those of you who are seeing this as being a little familiar with on track, you're right. It's right there. But your licenses still need to come from us, not directly from Crawl. All right, I'll just leave it up to Q&A from this point on. So again, those of you who are interested and want to talk to a partner specialist, you know, hit up our main website, sosonlinebackup.com. The number is 877-896-3611. Extension 1, I believe, will get you to our sales team, and they'll be able to help you out and go through an evaluation with you. All right, some more questions. Is there a referral partner program rather than the branded version? Looking for something with low upfront commitment to get started. It's a great question. So typically, branded solutions do have high upfront, but again, $379 a month, and you're getting the branded PC client software, the branded web package, branded ServerSave, Pulse, Exchange Granular Recovery, all of it. So, and that includes 5 ServerSave licenses and a terabyte of cloud space. So call into the partner specialist and see what you can do. But you know, for $379 a month to get all that, that's pretty phenomenal. How about wireless offices? Any difference to hardwired speed and functionality? Well, sure. You know, if you go from a hardwired to a wireless, then you're adding another node that has to be judged. So you go to maybe you lose, you know, some upload speed or some download speed. But I mean, it works the same. So right now I'm working off of a wireless connection to show this demo. So I was wirelessly connected to the server 2008. I'd probably recommend, if you want to do a server backup, to have it wired, but it's not needed. Is this a solution, John asked, is this a solution for a mixture of servers and desktops at one location? Absolutely. So again, if we go back to our service slide, what you're going to have is the online file and folder system, which is great for your desktops and workstations. And you can put that per user, so you can have one account installed on, 50 different machines, 100 different machines, whatever you like, and the users don't have access to that. Or you can do it where each individual user does control their own backup set and schedule, which gives them greater functionality to recover their own information if they need to, if they're remote, whatever it is. So that's really terrific. It really is as much as you like. Thank you, Michael. Michael points out that a terabyte divided by 5 servers is 200 gigs a server, not 250. And that's if we're defining a terabyte as 1,000 gigabytes, not 1,024. So thanks. Yeah, 250 gigs is overselling a little bit. So we're over that. Thanks for that. Dave asks, is an added cost for more client PC as long as it's still under the storage amount? No, it's not. You have unlimited amount of seats for the file and folder system, as long as you have the available cloud space to provision those seats.